Step number 2 is to maintain a complete and accurate accounting record regularly of all of your income and expenses. That's required for taxes, and there's no secret tax write-offs. All of your business expenses are the tax write-offs. So there really is nothing that's a secret, although that's kind of the mentality people feel. It tends to be, the people who feel that way the most tend to be those that don't focus on keeping their money records, their accounting records. And so it's kind of like avoidance to this, because it can be a lot of work to form this habit, right? To really get the habit of keeping track of all of your income and expenses. But that's where the focus should be, to get all of the write-offs you deserve, because your tax write-offs are ultimately just your business expenses. That's where, in a way, the tax requirements can be of a positive, because they actually require you to keep your records, and that's how you get all your tax write-offs. And that's the very thing that you need to do to grow a business, to understand what it costs you to serve your clients. And the motivation that we can have to keep track of all of our business expenses, because they're tax write-offs, simultaneously will benefit you in your self-employed business, understanding your costs, understanding your profit, and being able to see opportunities for growing your business and how you can make more money, right? So keeping this accounting record, it can just be a spreadsheet, like in the business spreadsheet template that I have. You might be familiar with that. You can get it for free if you don't have it yet. And I have all sorts of videos explaining accounting and taxes for self-employed. But that's a spreadsheet that's really set up for you to go back and catch up your records, so that you can do your taxes this year and still get all of your write-offs, even if you didn't maintain this record as you went. And so that spreadsheet walks you through month by month, updating all the income you got, updating all the expenses, going through all of your accounts, wherever you have your records or bags of receipts, and updating that spreadsheet. Now that spreadsheet, though, is really for going back. It's set up to make it easy to go back. For going forward, I really do recommend using an automated software, because this will go into step 3 of getting all the tax write-offs you deserve, which is having a business bank account and credit card. Now, I recommend using an automated system, because you can sync your business bank account and credit card accounts directly to accounting software. And typically, people are having the same sorts of expenses every month. So accounting software, the one I recommend anyway, is Xero, Xero, and it allows you to set up rules so that all of these regular transactions you have can go through pretty much automatically. You just okay them. So this can be a huge time saver, but it allows you to still be in the process of knowing your money, of checking everything, because that's where people have the biggest avoidance. Now, if you do go with the route of using a bookkeeper, that's great. But take the time to look at your reports and know where your money's at. You know, you don't have to do the minutia of actually keeping track. So that's great. The thing that matters is that we know where we're at and we're using the numbers, because the truth is, we are not calculators. We're not good at doing numbers in our head, especially about things like our money and our business. It's very personal. It funds our life. We have biases. So we don't tend to have, accurate perceptions of our profit and of our expenses, especially. It's really building that habit of knowing your money. That's what you get to do for taxes, so that you can get all of the tax write-offs you deserve and not be worried about any secret tax write-offs, because you know that when you give your financial statements which is your financial statements is your income statement, your income and expenses, which you can give to your tax professional and they'll do your taxes, or you print it off and you're all ready to go in your accounting software. The fourth step is for part personal, part business expenses. Now, this is the only area where things really get a little more complicated. And so if I'm talking about 4 steps to get all the secret tax write-offs, I have to talk about these. And I'm going to talk about the 3 main ones that can result in a lot of tax savings. And whenever an expense is part personal and part business, typically it's going to fall under personal and not be allowed. But there are a few big expenses that the IRS lets us take a deduction for. The first is meals and entertainment. Now, you can't deduct meals that you would just be eating regularly because that's personal. But if it's related to business or to entertainment, like say you're going out with clients, or, and you're going to have conversations, but you're facilitating a business transaction. That's how big business works. It's all about relationships. It's about having lunch together, about having candid conversations. So do include those expenses. They're legitimate expenses. Your tax preparer or the tax software will limit those to 50% for the deduction. The second one is your vehicle expenses. Now, I talk about it in other videos, the different methods you can take to deduct expenses. But typically, for your self-employed business, you won't include any vehicle expenses for a car that you use for personal and business. None of those expenses will be in your business records. Instead, you do everything on your personal side, but you keep a mileage log. That's what you need to keep to get this deduction, and the mileage log keeps track of all of your business trips. What were you doing that was business related? It's same thing with meals and entertainment. You need to say on the receipt, I say to just write on the back, what was the business purpose? Same thing with all of the write-offs, right? That's what makes them tax write-offs, is your intention, your business purpose of spending that. And only you can do that in the records. This isn't stuff that a tax person can kind of come up for you. It's your job in the record process. So with the mileage log, I recommend using an app like Mile IQ. And, if you don't drive a lot, don't waste the time. Like, I don't drive a lot. I don't waste time keeping track of my miles, but some people do drive a lot. And in that case, get the mileage log. If you're ever audited, you have everything you need. Or you can, of course, just keep a notebook in your car and write it down too. Now, the third and final part business, part personal big write-off is the home office deduction. That's a great one to take. Just keep in mind that to qualify for that, your office area, you don't have to have a whole room in your house. It can just be a small area. It has to be used exclusively for business, which is something you report. And if you use a tax preparer or something like that, you will need to tell them that, especially if you rent other locations where you actually service your customers, or say you do work for your customers at their locations. You can still qualify if you do management type activities at home and you say that you exclusively use that area for business. So that winds up the 4 steps and the myths. The goal of these 4 steps is so that you can focus on the right things when it comes to tax write-offs. There are no secret tax write-offs. Instead, step 1, understand what write-offs are. Write-offs are all of your business expenses, all of them. And the rule of thumb to know is you ask yourself, would I have spent this if not for my business? As long as it's yes, you only spent this because of your business, it's a write-off. Step 2, maintain a complete and accurate accounting record regularly. You can use the business spreadsheet template if you need to catch up 2016. Otherwise, I recommend using an accounting software like Xero and linking step 3 to your business bank account and credit card, and then the place to focus is on the habit of maintaining these records regularly. You'll find so many things you're spending that qualify, but they're not you don't keep track of them. So at the end of the year, you don't get them as tax write-offs. Those are the real secret tax write-offs, that just maintaining your records will allow you to save more on taxes, will allow you to have the information you need to really grow your business. And then step 4, keeping track of those part personal, part business expenses like meals and entertainment, the mileage log, and the home office. All right, thank you so much for watching. If you have a question about your tax write-offs, I'd love to hear from you below. And otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Aloha.